I'm trying to expand my universe here.
That's good.
Yeah.
Is this the first time you've expanded to this level?
What level is this?
This is like you're in heaven and I'm on earth.
It's so funny that you say that. I'm not in heaven.
Okay, you're not mentally in heaven.
No, I'm not I'm not in heaven.
You're not in heaven.
No. I'm higher above you.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're
That I know. I'm higher above you, but I'm not in heaven.
You're on a flight.
Well,
And I'm on
we're on flight, both flights, right?
Okay.
We're on both on, but I'm on. You're like in a how do you say? You're mid. I don't know what flies low or.
Helicopters.
You're in a helicopter,
blimp?
and I'm in a just a regular
Airplane.
plane. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But you're getting up there. Yeah. And then I'll look out my window and go, hi.
Hi. And then I'll go, oh, hello.
Yeah. And then your thing will fall.
Okay. You know, Bobby, I've seen a plane crash.
No.
I don't.
No, it's people go because I've been in the game for so long, but it's all about longevity. It has nothing to do with anything else. I don't even think it has to do with talent. It's just that if you just don't quit and you hang in there with all your might,
Forever and ever.
forever and ever, you just kind of end up where you are.
Have you
know?
ever seen someone though that hung in there forever and ever, and then just nothing happened?
But because I'm Asian, I always have to figure out why.
Okay.
So I'll look at I'll go
okay.
to the comedy store. I'll look at headshots,
Oh.
and people go, "Who's that?" And I go, "That's so and so. Why didn't they make it?" And I know why.
Oh.
Because this happened, or they did this, or they behaved like this.
Was it ever like it was always career moves, or was it like how they treated people?
It's a combination of many things. It's like usually it's how they treat people.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is attitude. A lot of it is also wrong decisions.
Okay.
A lot of it's drug use and alcoholism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's a combination of things, but I like doing that because it soothes me.
To know why they didn't make it.
Yeah, because I don't want to not make it.
But you've made it.
I haven't. Well, what is making it? Let's define that first.
Okay.
All right.
Are you able to support yourself? Do you own a home?
I do.
And you're able
Do
to.
you?
No.
Okay. Ask me another one.
Pathetic now.
So owning a home is a.
Owning a home and having an investment, I think with money that you made off comedy.
Okay, so do I
Not
own a
in here.
home based on money that I made with comedy?
Yes.
That's a really good yes. So that's making it.
Okay.
Is that it?
No.
Okay, well, give me other ones.
Are you fully sufficient and able to support yourself off comedy? Could you have a family? Could you have children and put them through college off of comedy money? You don't have to have children. It's just a question.
Yeah, no, I understand the question.
A bit defensive.
Yes.
And
But I'd have to adjust my lifestyle.
how so?
Just I can't
Get
go to,
rid of that sick ass car that you drove in with.
No. It's not that sick, but
It's pretty sick.
I
It's so sick that he goes, "Is this your car?" And mine's a Lexus, and he goes, "Oh." Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He goes, "Is this your
That's
car?" I went,
ridiculous.
yeah, and he
Yeah,
went,
I did do that, but I'm sorry. I did do that. Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad. I didn't think you read that though.
"Oh, I read everything."
Yeah. So
Oh yeah. Okay.
So do I?
Could you put your kids through college?
Yes, I can, but I'd have to make some adjustments,
Okay.
and I'd have to not spend as much in terms of food
Okay.
and clothes, probably.
Okay.
So I'd have to go. I can't get those Golden Goose.
Golden
Today.
Goose.
Yeah.
What are Golden Goose?
The shoes.
Oh, I didn't know. Do you know Golden?
You don't know Golden Goose shoes?
No.
It's where like
You're so much above us in the plane that we don't know Golden Goose yet.
Are those the distressed ones?
Yes, they're distressed. Right, they're distressed.
Like those?
No, these are just Adidas. Don't look at my feet. But I don't wear my Golden Goose when I do this level of podcasting. I want to wear sliders. You know what I mean? But
Sick.
Tom Segura, I wear Golden Goose. But
Okay.
my so Golden Goose are distressed shoes that it's so gross because it's like celebrities wear them and it's like they're like the cheapest kind are like $500. They're tennis shoes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Distressed tennis shoes.
And then they go from that to like $1,200.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much are yours?
I only have like 4 pair.
Pardon?
I have 4 pair.
You have 4 pairs?
Yeah, and they're all in the 600
Oh,
range. Yeah.
oh. Yeah, you haven't made it.
That doesn't.
Okay.
That's not a thing. That's
okay.
not a,
Okay. So you
because
have to
can I
stop
say?
by.
I'll tell you. Oh my
Okay.
god. Is this being gross? Am I being gross? Should I just admit that?
No.
I honestly don't feel like that. Because,
That's fine. That's okay.
because I can look around my. You always look around your peer group,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And when you go to your friend's house, you realize that you didn't make it.
Okay.
That's what it
okay,
is, right?
okay,
So when I go to
okay. Yeah, yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco's house,
Yes.
I literally look around and go, yeah, I'm lazy and I did something wrong.
Oh, okay.
Right? You go to
Okay.
Bert Kreischer's house, you go, yeah, this is a compound.
Yes.
You know
yes.
what I mean?
Yes.
So
yes.
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Like
but,
if you go to fucking Monterey's house, right?
yeah.
Do you feel like you guys are on the same level?
My house is nicer than her house.
So you made it. Do you know what I'm saying? To her, you made it.
Right. But mine wasn't. Mine was made with waitressing money, not comedy money. So
Okay, yeah.
that's
okay.
the difference.
That
Okay.
is- okay.
So then, but okay. So you could put your kids, and then my last question is: Do you get offers, or do you have to always audition and pitch?
Oh, I audition and pitch all the time. That's another
Okay.
thing.
You don't get
I
offers.
never. That's not the. Was that the question? No. I get a combination of both.
Okay.
Right. So the offers I get are pretty good. Right.
Okay.
But I audition all the time, and the ones that I audition for are the ones I really want.
Yes.
Right. And I don't get what I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, it's like I auditioned for a Star Wars thing recently.
Yeah. You didn't get
and
it.
I didn't get it. I can't get any of that stuff.
Right.
Like a Marvel movie, Shang-Chi I auditioned for. Nothing. You know what I mean? What else did I? Like those types of movies, you know what I mean? I the first Aquaman I auditioned for.
right.
Just as a scientist with 3 lines, I couldn't get it. And I would have
Right.
sucked their dick. I would have sucked everyone's dick to get it.
Did you tell
Literally.
them that though? Maybe they can't read your mind.
I'll suck your. I don't know who I have to suck. Everyone?
We can tag people in this so they know.
Well, the Asian director, what's his name? The guy that does the horror movies. What's his name? Conjuring. That Asian guy.
oh, I don't know his
Yeah, I don't
name.
want to suck another Asian guy's penis.
You do.
I don't.
Why? Why?
They remind me of my dad.
Oh, so
Yeah,
well,
in the dark, they always look like my dad.
okay. So
Yeah, I don't
this
suck
is
my
a good
dad's dick.
segue.
Yeah. James Wan. So
Wan.
James Wan, right? And
Okay.
so I do audition for those things, but I get offered like reoccurring stuff.
That's great though, but that's still and I think you've made it because you have jobs coming in that are they're reoccurring and they're paying you. Sure, you're not getting the Marvel, but like if we really break it down, Marvel is very particular in the type of people that they cast, and on top of it, Brad.
Particularly the ones that made it.
No,
Is that what it means?
no, they just always want they like chiseled jaws.
I'm not going for the superhero, man. I'm going for the fucking guy that sits on the bench and the Superman
But they want-
superhero runs by.
They want a potential chisel jaw for that too. It's just
Okay,
a
I guess.
it's just chisel jaw media.
Yeah.
But even Bradley Cooper said, I listened to a podcast with him on it, and he was talking about how none of the directors that he's ever wanted to work with have hired him, and he can't get in with them. And he named like 7 directors. So, but he's made it.
So I think this is the moral of the story.
Okay.
No matter where you're at, you're
never-
always gonna not like where you are.
Right. That's true. Yeah.
Everyone has those things.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, it's so gross to say I made it. It's a weird thing to say, but I guess
You're comfortable.
I guess I made it.
Say it more proud.
I'm proud that I made it.
Say, look
Yeah,
at me.
Look at me. But do you feel like that?
Like I made it?
Yeah.
No.
Why?
Because all of
Look at
those.
this house.
This is a apartment
beautiful.
that I rent. Thank you.
It's a beautiful apartment, though.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
What did you judge when you came in and saw it? If I owned it, I'd feel better, but I don't.
I'll tell you the honest truth. I used to see girls when I'm single now again, but before I was single, there was a couple of girls that lived around here that you know what I mean, did a little munch.
What is that? Wait.
Munching.
Oh, you had chips with it?
Yeah, I chits with them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Chips and
But so I
dip?
remember like getting my car towed. There's one girl that I got because these streets are so regulated.
Yeah.
And I didn't have one of those tags. I remember
Yeah.
I was munching on a girl and
Delish.
delicious, and my car got towed. But I just remember this area. You know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Was their apartment as nice as this one?
No, not at all. No, and she
There
was
you go.
crazy.
Oh, yeah. Do you
Yeah.
like crazy girls? Okay.
No,
and
I'm not. I'm thinking. Do I like crazy girls? I I attract girls that have the same kind of trauma I do, and it's weird.
Okay.
Like I'll just meet them, and then our pasts will connect. It's weird, and then it's like you end up like eventually going, oh yeah, we were both abused by our dads. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I've never like met a girl where she's like, I'm a Christian, I've never done any drugs, and I'm a virgin or whatever. You know?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I'd like to meet one of those,
Okay.
but I don't think that's in my future.
Well, you never know, but maybe
Maybe
not.
I don't want it.
I think that they would be too uptight for your personality. I
Oh,
don't
that's a
think you
good
could
question.
be
What's
your-
my personality? From what you've known of me so far, we don't know each other that well,
No.
right? So I would
No.
like to hear from your mouth what you think my personality is like.
I think are we just gonna tell each other what we like about each other, and then we're gonna?
No, because I have negative things about you too, so I'm going to go there.
Okay.
Yeah,
This was supposed to be about our fathers.
We will.
But,
We'll get in there.
Okay. Your personality. I think that you're a silly Billy. Do you not like that, Bobby?
No, keep going. I'm listening. That's why I want to close my eyes and listen.
You want to close your eyes and listen?
Yeah.
I think that, I think you're a silly Billy. I normally am like not like, well, Alex knows me, but like, I'll be like, if I know someone or I'm comfortable with someone, then I'll be myself and I can like be my full self and tease them. And the first time that I met you or we interacted, you wouldn't remember this, but years ago, someone walked by at the store and went, Nikki Bond. And then you went, Nikki Bond, Nikki Bond, Nikki Bond. And then I was like, felt so inclined. And then I was like, Bobby Lee. And I did it to you, but I would never do that with somebody.
What was my reaction?
You laughed.
See? That's silly Billy shit.
That's silly Billy shit.
Yeah, I love
and I
it.
immediately was like, he's a silly Billy. And with people like you who are in planes and I'm in the blimp a bit lower,
It's crazy.
I'm not as like silly Billy, but I like with Alex, I do that. I always bring him on stage. I'm like, this hot little boy.
Have you tried to do silly Billy stuff with people at my level, right, that don't respond to you?
No, I would never. This is the thing. I would never pull out a silly Billy move if with somebody at your level, but because for some reason with you, I was able to be silly Billy off the bat. And I was like, oh, he's like me.
What about Andrew Santino? Have you seen him around?
I have.
Have you said anything to him?
I've only been introduced to him.
What was he like? Let's be honest.
Oh, hello.
Very political.
Yeah.
Standoffish?
He was okay.
Standoffish?
I know he's your friend.
No,
You're
he's not.
pushing me.
Standoffish?
Yes, he's your friend. Okay,
Standoffish.
I'll tell you a little bit standoffish.
Yeah.
The first time I met him,
Yeah.
he's been nicer to me since, but I don't really talk to him because I'm too shy. I'm too shy, but I'm not shy with you. That's why I was like, oh, you're a fun silly Billy. The first time I met him, I was in the airport and I saw Ari Manis in the airport. You don't know Ari Manis?
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
I just get cringe when I hear his name.
Oh, Ari Manis.
yeah.
And I saw Ari Manis, and he came up and said hi, and it was very early in the morning. And then he introduced me to Santino. Santino came up, and Ari was like, "Oh, this is Nikki. She's a comic." He's like, "Yeah, hi. Okay, I'm gonna go wait," and just like walked away. And I was like, "You fucking
That's him.
douchebag."
That's him.
But then I was introduced to him through
That's
Monterey.
who he really is, though.
Oh,
Just
interesting.
FYI.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. You're
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to sue
I'm not.
him. You guys are.
We're not.
Best
I hardly know him. Go ahead. So,
friends.
and then what?
Shut
The second time, what happened?
He was really nice. But I was introduced.
But he's
to
not.
him.
He would never do this.
Yeah, I am sure. Is this a competition?
It's
Are
not a
we-
competition. I
Okay.
just want to in the internet verse,
Okay.
right? I just
Yeah.
want to throw out there
Okay.
that we're not the same.
No one said you were the same.
Okay, so I'm silly Billy. Let's go back to me. I'm silly Billy. What else?
I feel like that just describes it all. Like, I guess you're just, you're easy. For me personally, I can like be my full self and just act out and like tease because you like bully people, and I like
That's
that.
it's so dumb when people say that. It's so
But-
dumb.
But
Can I just defend myself for
Yes.
a second? You fucking nice lady, you.
well, listen,
See-
I bully
see
people.
what I just did?
I do it.
Like
you do
what?
the same thing.
I don't bully.
Not
How does a
bully.
little fat Korean man bully anybody? You know what I mean?
That's bully denial right there.
No.
That's a bully in denial.
It's like when I see your friend Monterey, I go, look at your eyes. You know what I mean? What are you, in a cartoon?
You said, look at your bulging eyes.
Yeah.
Is what?
Because it's a defense mechanism, right?
Okay.
Because I'm threatened.
What are you threatened by?
Well, just women. Get threatened by women, muscular men that looks like that guy, Chris Evans. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I just get kind of threatened, so I have to attack.
So Matt, you really were
No,
nice.
he doesn't threaten me.
Exactly. So you're like, oh, you're comfortable.
weak.
He's a worm. He's a
not
worm.
weak. He's not weak.
He's a worm.
No, but I can tell he's more of a librarian.
He's a tour manager, so he's like a calm person.
Yeah. I like his energy.
Yeah, he would calm me down. But
Yeah.
okay, let me say it this way. I know that I can tease you and you wouldn't get offended. And you know what it is? Not a bully, trickster. Because I know you, and I'm a trickster too.
I love being tricksters.
Yeah, like last night when you're like, "This is my agent," and I was like, "Well, I'm going with this, and let's trick them." Like I like tricking people.
Well, here's the thing: if I was with somebody, and they didn't go along with the game,
yeah.
immediately they're out with me.
Does everybody that's in your orbit go along with your game?
They have to.
So everybody that was on the show that you just did on 2 weekends ago go along with your game.
They generally, they do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, not bully, trickster.
Yeah.
And I like a good trickster. So
Okay, so I'm a trickster, and I'm also
a silly Billy. And you're very you're nice. You gave everybody the time of day. You don't have a big ego.
Yeah.
Okay.
I fluctuate between extreme ego and like king peasant syndrome.
Oh. Okay.
Like sometimes I feel like I'm the king of the world, and sometimes I just feel like a piece of shit.
Right. And I have seen you be like less energetic and more, except, okay, I'm sorry, we're going to pretend you're not a bully. Because the other night at the Improv, when I was like, I had contact high and I was very socially awkward.
I remember that. You looked weird.
See?
You were just, no, because you're you know, 'cause you have your eyes, you know what I mean? And you're just like, you know what I mean, like that.
I was so
I knew
weird.
There was something going on.
I was so weird because I did a weed show and I like don't smoke weed when like sober. I only smoke when I'm drinking. And I was being like, I couldn't even handle going into the Improv. And then I saw Bobby and I went, so anyways, but that's when I was like, oh, I'm comfortable with you because that's what I would do to someone that I knew well. I would be my awkward self.
Yeah.
I would normally just walk away. And then you just kept going, what's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? And I was like, stop asking me what's wrong. Because then I started getting more paranoid because I didn't want to be high and I was. It was the worst.
That was bullying?
Yeah, it's bullying.
Okay. I'm sorry.
I don't want you to apologize. I like that.
Okay.
I like a good bully. I like a good teasing.
Yeah.
A trickster. I like a good calling out. That's what it is. I like being called out and made fun of.
Yeah. But the reason why I'm here, though, is because I'm out of a relationship.
Okay.
Right? And I love her very much. And I really do. She's my best friend. Okay. But in the 10 years that I was with her, I don't know why. It's not her fault.
Okay.
But I just didn't do what I normally do. I'm more of a free
bird.
Kind of a free bird.
Yeah.
And I like to, make connection. Okay, I'm going to say something. Okay.
Okay.
This is very important.
Okay.
All right.
Too bad we don't have a Zoom.
Here's the problem with older dudes that made it in the business that can't sustain it, right?
Okay.
And my theory is this, is you always have to go to generations below you and befriend the talent that's there, right?
Yeah.
Because I saw dudes when I was a doorman treat me like fucking shit. You know what I mean? Even when they knew I was funny, they just treated you like shit, like you didn't exist.
Yeah.
And I know some of them are trying to come back. You know what I mean? And it's like I just have so much rage toward them, right? That I just can't even give them the time of day, right?
Yeah.
And I believe that it's such an important part of becoming or staying kind of relevant, right? Because it's like that Saturday show I did at the Bray Improv, they were all younger. I didn't use anybody that was like people that I grew up with in comedy. I used generations below me. You know what I mean? I think that, what's that guy with no chin, Alex?
Hannah,
yeah. Like, people that aren't born with any chins, he probably fucking was bullied his life. Just he's just eyes and nose, mouth, and nothing else really. You know what I mean? It's just the face is like not fully developed. You know what I mean?
He's like, I was the coolest kid in my class. You're like, no, you're a turtle, and I.
Yeah. Him, and then like some of those other ones. You know what I mean? I can't remember their names, but my point is that I know that.
I know everybody you had on that show.
But you gotta dip. You gotta go. You gotta
He tried to get me on this show, and he's just describing all the people's deformities and why.
The reason why I asked you to be on the show is because I also do research. I can't like ask someone to do much if I don't go on the internet and see their stand up, see what they're about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I've been doing that now since I've been single. I've
Oh.
been kind of going, okay, so how do I just nurture that part of the business? You know
That's
what I mean?
really nice of you.
It's not nice. It's the only way to survive.
You think 'cause if you hang out with younger comics or you help bring them up, then
I'll give you an example. There was a
Okay.
guy, I can't say his name because I want to start a war with him. But growing up, he was in movies I liked. He was, you know what I mean, a legend in my eyes. As a kid, I just went, I wish I could meet him. And then when I went to the Comedy Store in 1995, he was like a piece of shit. He treated me like shit. He wouldn't acknowledge me. I did a show once where a casino booked him and I together.
yeah.
And he refused to be in the same green room. He wouldn't talk to me, look at me, or anything like that, right? And I was on my way up, right? And recently, this is going to give it away to him probably, but not to the people listening.
I'm going to tell you one thing. I bet you he's definitely not watching this podcast.
All right.
If you
But
want to say anything.
he came up to me, and I hadn't seen him in years, and he goes, "You're rising." And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm doing a movie. Can you do my movie?"
Shut the fuck up.
Jane Moore's in it. A bunch of people are in it. And I go, I said yeah at the time.
Yeah.
But I just knew in my heart I wasn't going to do it. Because I don't know what if it was fucking Howie Mandel.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, I would have done it because I love him.
Yeah. He's really
always
nice.
been so nice to me.
Yeah, he's
right?
really nice.
But this guy, I was like, I'll do it, and I'll never do it. You know what I mean? That's my point. It's like
I wish I knew who it was.
I'll tell you later after
Okay.
the thing's over. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's a key thing. You know.
And you don't want to be that guy. Or do you actually genuinely like talking to people?
What I learned from them, because it's like my styling is so rooted into the 90s. That's when I started.
Yeah.
So when you watch younger generation, not that I'm being influenced by them or I'm stealing anything,
Yeah.
right? An attitude, but you have to see what people are laughing at now, right?
Yeah.
You have to see what the kids are doing, right? And you have to kind of incorporate some modernism
Okay.
into your act a
Yeah.
little bit, right? You
Yeah.
can't just, you know, like when I see Martin Lawrence go, "I love pussy," or, you know, what I mean? And
yeah.
you just kind of go,
It's not the
it's
yeah.
not, it
yeah.
feels weird, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
For
anyway,
sure.
yeah. So that's
So
that.
that's why you're here.
That's why I'm here. Yeah.
To be relevant.
No. No. I'm here because I think you're funny.
Yeah,
I think
you
you
don't
have a
have to tell me.
future. I like
Wow.
you as a person.
Thank you.
And I would like to develop some form of a fucking relationship.
That's so nice.
You fucking idiot.
I would like to be your friend too.
Now we're gonna be best friends, but like
I
I'm
didn't
trying
say
to
best friends.
You know what I mean? I'll tell you why what did it. So when I was at the Improv a couple of months ago,
Yeah.
I was there and Monterey goes, "Come talk to us."
Yeah.
And you were with that group, remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember sitting there going, and I hadn't broken up with my girlfriend at that time.
Yeah.
Going, God, why don't I know these people like on a
Yeah.
their names really? I didn't know your name. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
fair.
I know that
That's
they've been
fair.
around. I've seen them around.
That's
It's like,
fine.
how do I not know this generation of people? It's like it's criminal almost. you
Yeah.
know, in terms of my ethics, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
And then I decided, you know what, I'm gonna research everyone that I've seen at the store, like, and the Improv and all the young people I don't know. So I Google everyone. I find
Wow.
out their names. I watch their comedies, and I want to see what's out there.
And did you handpick certain people?
There's some people you just kind of go, that's not my thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
But I respect everyone. And listen, my theory in comedy. The other day I was at a bar, and some guy goes, I bust tables at this restaurant. It's really hard, but I've always wanted to do comedy, but I don't think I can do it. You know? And I go, why? I'm afraid. And when they say that, I always encourage people to do it because it's like, it changed my life.
Did it?
I would be, and this is going to relate to the topic of the show.
Great.
My therapist says that the kind of upbringing that I had, right? There was this was the only, I used my trauma and my defense mechanisms to my benefit. Right? So, a lot of times when you have a violent father, right? You perpetuate that behavior in your life, right? For some reason, I didn't do that. When I witnessed, you know what I mean, his violence, I went into a shell, and lived in a fantasy world, and I became very funny. So, making people laugh and being silly and weird and all that stuff was my way of coping. Those were my defense mechanisms. And then in my early 20s, I go, okay, I don't have an education. I have no skill when it comes to anything. Like, I don't know how math works. I can't tell time with the hands.
Still?
Mark Maron taught me the first time 6 months ago.
5, 10, 15.
Yeah, I learned.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do things. I don't know how to pay taxes. I don't know how anything works.
Yeah.
So when I was 23, I couldn't get any girls. I had no money. I mean, it was like, and I went, it just kind of, I walked by, so there was a comedy store in La Jolla.
Yeah.
And I walked by it, and there was a help wanted sign. And it was during the day. Because I worked at the coffee shop that was next to it. It's no longer a coffee shop.
Okay.
I think it's a Verizon now. But before there was a coffee shop there, and I worked there. And I went, I just knocked on the door because I needed a job because the coffee shop closed. And the manager recognized me from the coffee shop, and he goes, and I had orange spiky hair. I had bleached my hair.
Okay.
You're that freak that, I go, yeah, can I get a job here? And I just knew instinctually that for some reason this is the path. I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know how comedy worked. I didn't know how anything worked.
So you didn't grow up watching stand-up?
Oh, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I mean, when I was so just real quick. So at the coffee shop, there was a girl named Rebecca Dreskin that worked there with me. And Rebecca Dreskin was dating a guy named Mike Carano.
Okay.
Mike Carano, you know Mike Carano? So you know Mike Carano. So Mike Carano at the time was the manager of the Pacific Beach Improv with Dave Becky. Now, Dave Becky is one of the biggest managers in the world. He's at 3 Arts. He's like one of the big guys there, right? But at the time, he was a manager there, right? So Mike would come to the club, the coffee shop to see Rebecca, and I became friends. So one time, he took me to go see Brian Regan, and I had like drinks with Brian Regan after the show. And then he would comp me into the show. So I would stand back at the Improv and watch like Bobcat Gold and all these people. So I was already kind of immersed, you know what I mean? I kind of knew that I was fascinated by the world, right? And I remember, after a couple of weeks working at the Comedy Store, going up, and I just knew that I go, this is it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it happened real fast for me. Like 6 months later, Paulie saw me, I opened for him.
Damn.
And then 5 years later, I did The Tonight Show.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So I just kind of like, oh, this is it. This is my only thing.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like 6 years later, you know what I mean? I don't want to lie, but but my therapist says that you used your trauma and you took that and you ran with it and you built a life for yourself, and that's a miracle. Because I think that if I it was in any other kind of society and they didn't have comedy and stuff, that I probably would have been either an incel.
Oh no.
A shut-in, you know what I mean? Or I would just if I would lived in Korea, I would be carrying rice on my head to one place to another, and that'd be my job, like some sort of monotonous.
You think that you would go to Korea?
No, if I grew up in Korea and I still had a traumatic life.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I think that I would have had some weird job where I'm some manual labor. I don't know. I don't know.
Making people laugh and making the job. Do you think comedy?
I'd be the funniest rice carrier there. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Like they'd be like, oh
yeah.
I'm so funny with the rice. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But I think that I would just have a miserable life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I mean that's the cool thing about living in America, I guess.
You have
there's options.
There's in the arts. So then going back to your situation. So
what situation?
With your dad and your family.
You were abandoned, right?
Yeah. But Well, he left when I was 9 to America because he's from America, and he got kicked out of Canada.
Why? Drugs?
No, he just didn't renew his fucking green card in time.
Yeah, but your dad and your mother weren't married?
They were married.
So there's no like law that
No, because he didn't do his paperwork in time. So
don't
they
know-
were married for like a year and a half.
and they had you.
Yeah, I was a mistake. I was a condom baby. They had a
You were a
condom on.
condom baby?
They had a condom, and
It popped?
I don't know what happened. I seeped
Your
out.
dad has a thick dick?
You know what? I don't know. I never saw it. He wasn't around. So way to like bring up
okay.
awkward
Sorry,
things
my
for
bad.
making me sad.
Sorry.
It's about you, not me, anyways. But he didn't fully abandon. He wasn't like peace out. Like he would still keep in touch, but like not. He would send me Christmas presents and Valentine's Day chocolates because he's romantic.
Yeah.
And then, but like in terms of communication, like he would call me. Maybe we would talk on the phone once every 2 or 3 months. But I was a kid, so I'd be like, "Hi, good, yep, bye." And it was that kind of thing. And I wouldn't fly.
Did you have resentment?
Did I have resentment? I honestly just thought it was normal. Like I didn't know any different. I thought, this is my life. I don't really have a dad, and that's just my life. And then now I have resentment. And then when I was in high school, I realized, oh, this isn't normal. Other people have dads. They're showing up to their graduations. And then I was like, okay, fuck this, And then I would kind of do like manipulative things where I would like want things like a trip to Cuba for graduation. And then he would say he'd give it to me. And that to me was love. Like it was like, because I never saw him. But if he got me a Christmas present, I was like, well, he's still thinking about me.
Yeah.
But I suppressed everything. So I was never able to have long distance relationships. Like anytime me and my boyfriend broke up, whoever I was dating, it would be only because I was going to a different school or I was going away for the summer because I learned how to not love people or be hurt when they're around, which,
Right.
yeah. But
Right.
anyways, that's enough about
Were you attracted to guys that were fleers?
Oh, yeah. I was always like, I was always like, I want a boomerang. I want someone that's going to be here, but then go away and then come back. But I was always attracted to guys that I was attracted to players and hot guys, but that was for a different reason. But I always wanted if the guy wasn't that interested in me, but I knew, I was like, but I'll change him. And then if I can change him, I'll get the validation that I wanted.
Yeah.
But even still, Matt is a tour manager, sound engineer. So I still have the boomerang, but it's healthy.
But he's a tour manager for a band?
Yeah.
What band?
He freelances, so it's all different
Well,
bands.
give me an example of a band that you would tour
like
manage.
a Luna George.
Okay.
Do you know Luna George? No. I know, I didn't think so.
What's in the Luna George?
Broken Social Scene.
I love them.
Yeah.
Canadian band.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah, so he worked for them.
Amazing band.
Yeah.
He's Canadian?
Yeah, I'm Canadian.
I know
Did you
are.
know?
But I didn't know that you just only strictly dated Canadians.
Yeah.
Really? Why?
No, that's not true. I moved here and we stayed together because I finally got over my issues of, I was like, if I break up with him because I'm doing long distance, I might lose him, and I actually liked him.
Well, how
So then
long
he
have you
moved
been here?
I've been here since 2014.
So you've dated him for a long time then?
Yes.
This guy?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
10 years.
10 years?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's
No marriage or?
we're engaged.
Good. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
It's amazing.
It is whatever.
No, you're happy.
I'm
You seem
fine.
happy.
I'm fine. I just don't think marriage is because of my upbringing, I just am I would not get married. We both probably wouldn't get married if we didn't have to. But I'm American. He's Canadian, so he needs a green card. Okay, so let's go
no
back
kids
to you.
though?
No, no.
You don't want kids?
I do, but I haven't made it yet.
You want to make it before you have a kid?
I don't know how I'd afford it. Or not even make it. I just would like to have more of an income. Right now I don't really have, that's what I'm saying. You have a steady, that you have money coming in.
Yeah, but there's always a fear of you losing it. I mean, there's always that fear.
Yeah, but even just in stand-up, I think that I would want a kid. I just would like to be in a place where I have a good enough reputation that I'm not having to. I mean, you can lose your reputation, but that I don't have to constantly be out hustling mics, showing up the club, doing the grind. That's not healthy to be pregnant and do that.
Yeah, it is harder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you're on the right path. But what I want to say though too is the struggle is so important.
That's what everybody says.
It really is, and I constantly put myself in situations where I feel like I'm struggling.
Just so you can.
It's the only way to like maintain.
Damn.
You know, it's the only way to do it.
But let's go back to this. Are you doing that because you like the struggle, or are you doing that because of your childhood and you're used to struggling because of the situation you had with your dad? And that's a comfort.
No, because I remember there were times in my career, right, where I wasn't feeling like I'm struggling, right? And it was the most unproductive years.
Really?
Yeah, of my life. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like you kind of stay stagnant, and you feel like, oh, you know what I mean, this is going to last forever, and all of a sudden you start losing things, and then it's like, and then you force yourself to be in a position where you're struggling, and then it feels you're working harder, you're reaching out, and you're, you know, I want to be able to like. Here's the thing. Every year, if you say to yourself, you look past your year and go, well, I did one thing new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? Like, I did this, and I've never done that before. That's a win.
Yeah.
Right? But if
Yeah.
you look back and you go, nothing happened, I didn't do anything different or new.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's a problem. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, like, for me, I, in the last 3 years has been, in terms of my career, the best years of my life.
Really?
Oh, my God. It's been insane. I'm so happy.
You're
when it
happier. Like, are you happier than when you got Mad TV? Like, when you compared to that?
Yeah, because back then I was such an asshole.
Yeah.
I was arrogant. I would behave in ways that were like very odd. You know what I mean? Like almost like I shit in the executive producer's office.
Why'd you
I
do
took
that?
a dump in his office
Do you
and
have
walked out.
IBS?
What does that mean?
Irritable bowel syndrome. You
I
just
do,
had to
but
poo.
there's a bathroom right next to his office. I could have
Oh,
done
why'd
there.
you do that?
Revenge. But that's the thing.
Oh.
But that's the thing. It's like he lied to me, so I'm like, I'm gonna shit. Like decisions like that, right?
Yeah.
Is crazy.
What we fantasize about, you brought to reality.
Yeah, like I farted, and what happened was one morning, I showed up at Mad TV. It was like 6 a.m, and we had to do rehearsals. And there was this girl I'd never seen her before, and she was eating yogurt on a couch, much like this.
What kind of yogurt?
I don't remember. You'll play though. I don't know the flavor.
Okay.
And as she opened her mouth, I grabbed the back of her head and I farted in her mouth while she was eating yogurt.
Wait. So her face is where my face is, and you came in front of her, and
I walked by. I'm not gonna touch you, but
okay, it's okay.
I went like this. I grabbed it and I went,
And you
I farted
farted
right
in
her
her
mouth.
face.
Yeah. And as I turned around, she started crying.
Because she's not a trickster.
She's not a trickster.
Yeah.
But then I realized she's a new cast member. That was her first day of work. And then they called me, the producers, and they said, you got to get a lawyer because I think she's going to sue me.
For farting in her mouth.
Yeah, but my point is that you behave like, you know, you do things like that because you're like, you think you're this
Like hotshot.
fucking fuckface. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What? Untouchable. And what happened was after the show was done, after 8 years of being on Mad, everything went away. Like I couldn't get an
Wow.
audition. Years of like
Damn.
doing really shitty rooms on the road, right? Filling half the room.
Damn.
Like you got 30 people that bought a ticket, you know what I mean, on a Saturday. And you're like, it really puts you in you look at your past behaviors, and I really kind of went, I'm going to change who I am, and I'm going to change the way I do this thing, you know what I mean? And if I ever get back there to a place where I feel like, oh, things are going good, I'm going to behave the complete opposite way, which is also a part of who I am, you know, but
You're going to let her fart in your mouth.
yeah, no farts. No more farts.
No more farts.
Like if someone farted in my mouth, I would set a boundary and go, yeah, I don't appreciate that. Don't fart in my mouth when I'm eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's a good boundary.
Just be more mindful about stuff like that. But I don't know why I went on that tangent. Why?
Because I asked what it was like. You said this was the last 3 years were the best years, and then I said compared to like that kind of break.
Yeah, without the internet and without here's what's great about your generation and what's going on now is that back when I started, the gatekeepers were so important. Like Jeannie McCarthy. You know who that is? You do?
Wait, Jeannie or Jenny?
Jeannie McCarthy.
No, I don't know who that is.
Jeannie McCarthy is one of the biggest casting directors in LA, right?
Oh.
And she says she likes me. I just know she doesn't. I'm like not like in her wheelhouse.
Okay.
So right, so it's like she cast The Hangover. There's just no way I would have been able to get in that because she just doesn't. You know what I mean? So you have all these. You know, the only one that really truly loved me was Allison Jones. You know her?
Yeah.
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 Allison. Without her, I would just never.
She does like every.
I would have never
comedy.
worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love her so much, and thank you so much. And Allison, if you're listening, I honestly.
Can you hire me? Like fuck
No,
Bobby's
I'm
story. Can
fine.
we-
I'm killing it now, but I'm just saying that over the years, without the work that I did, the project that you did, I probably would have quit. Thank you. But my point is that, but now they're not as important, the gatekeepers,
Right.
right? You have the ability, like this podcast, right?
Yes.
You have the ability, right, to reach fans.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And I want to suggest something to you.
Okay.
This podcast, you should try to get as many people, right? The biggest people you can get to get on this. Because when this comes out, I'll put it in my story,
Oh, thank you.
okay?
Yeah.
And if you keep doing that, this thing will grow.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Because what it does to people is they go, oh, there's a legitimate person that I recognize.
Yeah.
And they're doing it with her, so she must be special.
See, I don't like asking people for things, even when I asked you this, because I do have other, like, I have like rappers that I could have on this. But when I asked you, it was because you said your dad, and I went, oh, I wish you could do it. And then you're like, I'll do it, but I could never like fully, but because you're a silly Billy, you could say
No,
it.
you have to ask. I'm going to say something right now. Let me just say something right now, okay? I've asked Ike Barinholtz 30 times, okay?
Okay.
He still hasn't done it, and he's one of my good friends.
No way.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just going to throw it out there right now, right?
Okay,
So
Ike.
come on, man.
Thank you for listening
Yeah,
once again.
I've
Allison,
asked-
thanks for
Dr. Ken Jeong, you know what I mean? He hasn't done it. But I'll keep asking because it's like, when you throw it out there, right, you get no's and it hurts.
Yeah.
You feel weird about it, right?
Yeah.
Sebastian now, finally, Maniscalco, is looking for dates to do it. So it's
Yeah.
like, he's a busy guy. And I get it. Everyone's busy and they got shit going on. I get it, right? But I got Judd Apatow to do it. I
Yeah.
got David Spade to do it. You know what I mean? I got, George Lopez to do it, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
some you win, some.
Yes, yes,
right?
yes. I agree with
So
you.
it's like, but that's what I would suggest to you.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. This one's an interesting one because I'm doing one with Monterey as well, but this one's an interesting one because it's like dad focused, and my dad is normally here. And if you met him, you'd be like, "Oh, this is funny." But then
Well, is the one with you in Monterey guest driven?
Yes.
Who's done it?
Well, you're gonna do it.
I only you get me once.
Okay, that's fair.
No,
No, I don't know. Who's done? Kurt Metzger's done it.
he's great.
Yeah, but yeah, well, I agree getting people on, and I'm open to having people on that don't have daddy issues.
But what's great is you're doing this right, and right now, like if you think that I didn't make a dime on Tiger Belly for 4 years,
Really?
like 3 years. I mean, we were making a little bit of money, but
Yeah.
it wasn't like I'm going to go buy a house money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you hadn't made it yet.
Yeah, I mean, we grinded.
But you also
grind.
but you have help. You have like producers and people putting up clips and stuff.
Yeah, but they work for free at
Oh.
the time, right? And it's like what was your name again? When? Oh, sorry, Alex. Don't get so angry. What the fuck, man?
No, it's just
And that's the tone. No, but Alex,
muscles.
right? Hopefully, when this starts making really good money, right, that she will give you a cut of it.
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and a good deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my point is that that's how you give back. So it's
Yes.
like, on my podcast, George and Gilbert, all the people on Tiger Belly, you know what I mean? I take care of them,
Yeah.
and but yeah, just grind away. But you're lucky because you don't have to fucking grovel.
For the
Because if there's 8 gatekeepers
yeah.
and 7 of them don't like you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
you're just relying on one path,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, and how many roles are there for like a guy that is like me?
Yeah.
There's not a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah,
but
that's
now it's like,
crazy.
now that I bypassed it, and now that I have my own army. I have an army,
Oh.
right, of people that would do anything for me, right? Now shows are going, can you do it? Can you do it? Can you do
Right.
it? Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm on Sex in the City. How the
I
fuck did I
know.
get that?
That's making
But
it.
that's MPK going, I know you're a podcaster, and I know that you know Whitney, right? And I'm friends
Yeah.
with Whitney, and I talked about you, right? So it's like, but the reason why Whitney and I have gotten closer because through podcasting.
Right. It's true. Podcasting does bring people.
Sterling,
Nice.
so Sterling Arjo, the executive producer of Reservation Dogs, is a huge podcast fan. Like when he comes to town for years, he would just go to the Comedy Store and Improv and just watch comedy, right? Now you're not privy to that, you're not aware of that. They don't come up to you. But my point is that, and then when Reservation Dogs happened, him and Taika Waititi, they just offered me the part because they're just fans or whatever,
Yeah.
right? So it's like, and that's only through what I did,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So it's like you're bypassing all these things.
You're
It's
like,
fucking
this is
cool.
who I am, and then they choose you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Yeah.
So this is it's just an awesome what do you call it, era that we're in.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah.
It is awesome. There's also like the thing is though, for women comedians, it's really great, but also shit that we post right now, like the hate from men that is happening is absolutely insane. It's like I post stuff and it'll just be like, and I have a lot of other female comedian friends that are going through the same thing. So it's like, you have to deal with that with casting directors in your day, but then now it's having to get a thick skin with trolls, incels out there that just really want to take us down.
I was in the patio at the Comedy Store many years ago, and a male comic went up to Natasha Leggero and threw ice in her face.
No.
And goes, "Women aren't funny. Get the fuck out of here." Right? If you ask Whitney Cummings and Chelsea Handler, how many male comics walked up to their face and go, "Women aren't funny. Get the fuck out of here." Right?
Yeah.
And the reason why I love these women is I think that they're so talented and they make me laugh, right?
Yeah.
But it's also their strength
Yeah.
and their ability to overcome, because I had to do it. I mean, there were people that said, in the 90s when I started, the whole thing was Asians aren't funny. You
Damn.
guys aren't funny, right? And then once I had to be better than everyone else,
Yeah.
and then once people saw, oh shit, I couldn't follow him,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
My bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like the struggle we're talking about. It's like you have to overcome all those things.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you a little tell you something, right? And this is a little gem that I've carried with me.
Okay.
Okay. Many years ago, I'm talking about 1997. Okay. In 1997, this is a guy named Freddie Soto. And he used to drive, he was one of the best comics to ever grace LA. He died. And he was a friend of mine. So if you're listening right now, check out Freddie Soto. He was the best. You have heard of him? Yeah.
I've heard.
So Freddie Soto used to drive Mitzi around. Sure. So one day I was living in San Diego, and they drove down, and Freddie called me and said, "Hey, Mitzi wants to go to Bully's, which is a steak restaurant in Pacific Beach." So I was a doorman at the store in La Jolla, so I met him at the steakhouse, and we're having dinner, and she goes, "You know what makes a star?" And I go, "No, what makes a star, Mitzi?" "Half the people have to love you, but the half the people have to hate you as well. That's the only way. They all,
Damn.
because as long as they're talking, that's the key." Right?
Damn.
So when I tell my ex-girlfriend Kalila this all the time because she gets a lot of hate.
Oh,
And I tell her when she gets really fucked up people, it's like, yeah, but it's every negative thing is $1 in your pocket. It
Yeah.
really is. Because imagine somebody you're in the forefront of their mind. they're typing, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking at your handle, right? There's rent in their
Yeah,
you're in
you're taking
their
up
mind. It's
space.
taking up space.
Yeah.
And they're going energy and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's all good.
That made me feel like this.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. I still am victim to like some guy direct messaged me this 3-paragraph thing of why I'm not talented.
It's like
I know, but I read it and I remember being sad for that day.
no.
Yeah, so it's really hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I'm not telling you that
yeah.
I'm victim to it too.
Yeah.
But the truth is that look at the reality of your life. Like look around this room, look at what we're doing right now. You know what I mean? This is the only thing that's real.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's real. Everything else is some sort of like thing in your head that you're like, you know what I mean?
You're popping yourself into someone else's reality. You don't even know them. And
They're not. It's not real though.
Yeah.
It doesn't. You know what I mean? What's real is
physically
if you
in front
touch
of
this
you.
leather. You know what I mean? And you smell and you look at all these. It's a beautiful little place. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Not little, but you know what I'm saying. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's
But
just
you know what I
little.
mean? But this is like the only thing that's really reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that that's happening, but
That's good.
I wouldn't
advice,
necessarily say that it was a bad thing.
though. Right. No, that's good.
You know what the
advice.
bad thing is?
What's the
No
bad
one
thing?
commenting.
Yeah. Yeah.
0 comments.
Yeah.
You're doing something wrong.
Okay.
You
yeah.
really are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of comics that don't get anything.
You do.
They don't get followers. They don't get comments.
Yeah.
There's something uninteresting. you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
About them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's like that's not a star.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So keep it coming. I mean, it's painful though, man. I mean, because you had abandonment issues.
Yeah,
You know what I
that's the
mean?
whole thing.
Yeah.
That's what I think I struggle with, but I don't want to talk about myself because I talk about myself on this all the time. But that's where the triggers are. Is like if something good happens, I'm like, whoa, and then it like if a booker's fucking with you, and then all of a sudden they're not. That's my abandonment issues. Like it propels. Do you have that with your
Netflix.
Netflix?
Yeah, they don't know I do stand-up comedy.
But does that trigger your?
It triggers so much within me because I look at what they like and they're the cool group. So it brings back to me in high school. It brings back to me, you know what I mean, feeling like, you know what I mean, not a part of anything, you know.
Yeah.
But my reality is like when I go to any town, I sell out immediately.
Right.
Every show.
Yes.
Right? So that doesn't necessarily, just because Netflix isn't on to me and I'm not one of their favorites, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm not credible and I'm not, you know what I mean, a legitimate comedy force.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. I still get it. There are I went in and pitched something with Joe Coy 6 months ago to Netflix. And all these executives are going around and they were like saying, "Oh, Joe, we love your stand-up, you know, and this and that."
No.
Yeah, to Joe. And then they looked at me, every one of them, and they go, "Wait, you don't do stand-up, do you?"
No.
And I was there with Howie Mandel, too, because he was pitching it with us, right?
Yeah.
And Mandel said, "No, he's one of the best," you know what I mean? Like, you do? Right? And like, I sat there, yeah. And I did the Tonight Show in 2000 or whatever, you know what I mean?
My God.
You know what I mean? And it's like, but you know what I mean? And you get that pain, and you lay in bed, and you go, "I'm a loser," you know?
Yeah.
And I'm not a part of, you know what I mean?
The club.
The club.
I'm not being seen.
I'm not being seen.
That's the hardest. Yeah.
And but you know what? But this is, I like it. The reason why I like it is because I like this. I'll show you.
yeah. Revenge.
It's sick,
Yeah. No, I'm the same.
right? But
Yeah.
there is a part of me that's like, you know what? Hopefully one day, and I've done that many times in my career where someone didn't like me, and then all of a sudden I'm working with them, right? And they're not privy to the thing that they rejected me to,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So there was an agent in 1998. He was at ICM,
Okay.
and my manager got me in a room, and he looked at me and he goes, "You're never gonna work."
Shut the fuck
And I go,
up.
"Why?" He goes, "I think you're funny. You know, I mean, there's potential there." But he goes, you're Asian, you're a little guy, there's no roles out there for you, which is true,
Yeah.
right? And you're just never gonna work. You know what I mean?
At the time, there weren't roles.
There weren't at that time, right?
Yeah,
And I
but
go,
there's now.
and I remember tears building up in my eyes. I'm a kid. I'm in my 20s, but like, you know what I mean? I'm just like,
yeah,
you know what I mean, new. You know what I
yeah.
mean? And I had made the move up to LA, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's telling me this, and I remember walking out of there, and my manager, I'm still with my manager, by the way, Abby, going, it's all right, we'll find somebody, right? And I remember, so now, years later, I'm on Mad TV, and this is my 8th year, right? And one of his clients, this agent's clients, I'm the one that got him as a regular. I'm the one that went to the casting and go, this is the kid, right? I'm the one that went to the producers and the owner of the show and went, I'm telling you why. And I pitched and I pitched and I made it happen. He became a regular on the show. So the first night, my buddy is doing a live sketch in front of a live audience. I'm at Video Village, and I'm watching him do it, and I'm laughing, and I look to my left, and the agent's standing right there, the guy that said, right? And now, like, at that time, I was like, me and Mike McDonald were the highest paid guys on the show, right?
Yeah.
And he's like looking at me smiling, right? And I wanted to go, this is what I wanted to go, I fucking told you! You know what I mean? I fucking told you! You know what I mean? You're right, you know what I mean? What the fuck? You know what I mean? But instead of doing that, I looked at him and I gave him a hug.
Wow.
And I looked at him and I go, hey man, I'm glad, you know, what's his name is on the show, right? He's like, yeah, thanks for your help. I go, yeah. All right, man. And I kept watching, but in my head, I go, I think I won that one.
Oh.
He doesn't need to know. He doesn't need to know. I know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I love that.
And just you just were chill, suave about it.
Yeah, because
Oh my
you know,
God.
it's one of those things.
It's a nod. You're like, I know.
Yeah.
You know, I know.
And I'm also very like, I think this equates to my dad, you know what I mean? There have been people in my life when I was a kid that without their help, you know what I mean, and their loyalty to me, right? That I think I could have killed myself. I mean, it was a terrible. I had teachers and people in my life that like helped me and pulled me along. You know what I mean? You know, 'cause since I got sober so young, so I had like, you know, in high school I got sober.
You did?
I relapsed a bunch of times in between there, but from high school to 30, I was sober.
Okay, wow.
Right, so I had AA sponsors and stuff, right, that were like, you know, and club, you know, the Fred Burns, from the original manager at the Comedy Store back in 1995, they believed in me. So I have this loyalty, you know what I mean, to people. So, I mean, that's why I've been with my manager for so long. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But it's like, I don't know why I had a point.
Well,
It's okay. Let's just move on.
Okay.
I had a point, but I don't know what it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry
Well, no,
about
because I'm trying to figure out what the point was.
Showing the gatekeepers that you belong
Yeah.
at the table.
it. No, that's way too far back.
It was
It's okay.
Okay,
we
fine.
can just fucking move on, and then
Okay.
we'll think about it.
okay.
Yeah. You don't have to cut that out. I like it when I don't know what I'm doing.
That's I wasn't going to.
You weren't going to cut that out?
No.
You don't edit this?
I used to with my dad because he takes so long to pause, but
This one you
probably
won't
not.
this
no,
one you
this
won't
is
edit?
nice. You're
This is
talking
nice.
a lot.
Yeah.
My dad will like take a long time, and then he'll talk. So it's like I don't really have to edit much.
You could go ahead, give it a shot.
I just recall you mentioned Fred, the old manager from the Comedy Store.
And the teachers that were helping you, pulling you along the way.
Yeah, but there was a point why I was gonna say that. You know what I
You
mean?
were
But I
smart.
don't remember
You
what
were
the point was. But
okay.
it's fucking fine.
Okay, it's fun.
All I'm saying though is oh yeah, so it's just like
You don't fucking know.
yeah, I don't fucking remember.
Yeah. You don't fucking.
Yeah, I don't fucking
Bobby.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, what my point
You know my
was.
dad's name's Bobby?
What?
My dad's name is Bobby.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah.
So your teachers were the ones that pulled you along, and you went into rehab when you were in high school.
Yeah.
And was it because you were like because of your home life? Is your mom still alive?
Yeah, she is.
Are you close to her?
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean, I don't know what close means. I mean, I text her every day.
that's nice.
And
That's close.
what's great about, like, you know, I've always been able to kind of make okay money even. What's that mean?
Thank you.
How long do you go?
It's your
I'm not done.
You're the one in
I didn't
charge.
drive all the way to West Hollywood
Listen,
to do
we're not-
55.
He's just
You know what I mean?
telling me there's 55 minutes that we've done. Okay,
We haven't even brushed the surface of that shit.
You're the fucking star.
I'm not a
so
star,
you
man.
have
Stop fucking
time.
saying that, man.
I'm doing that just to fuck with
Okay,
you. Okay,
all
I'm
right.
trickstering you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what?
Oh, your mom. You
Oh, my
text
mom,
her every
my
day.
mom. Yeah, yeah. You have to understand that my mom. So my mom. I'm going to tell you about my mom. So my mom grew up during the Korean War, right? So did my dad, and they didn't meet until America. They met
Okay.
in L.A.
Okay.
My parents did. So they didn't meet and get married, and they, you know what I mean, they met here. So my point is that so imagine my mom. My mom, during the Korean War, this is a terrible story. All right.
Is
So
there
when my
death involved?
yeah, why?
Ugh, I just don't like death, but you can go on.
All right. So my mother, she was cross-eyed, right? So like her pupil went into her head, so you couldn't see the thing. So she was bullied a lot. Kids used to throw rocks at her head. You know what I mean? And so when she was like 9 years old or 10, you know, they lived on this mountaintop in this like house made out of rice paper.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like really old.
Okay.
Their bathroom was, because I've been there before, you know what I mean, was this hole in the ground. And there was like 6 generations of my family that shit in this hole. So if you looked in the side the hole, my great-great-great-great-grandfather's shit is still in there, which is like kind of like an awesome feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I wouldn't go dig it up or whatever, but if you look at the bottom of this fucking thing,
His shit
it's
is
like
there.
my great-great-great-great-grandfather's shit is
You
there.
don't think that it turned into mud?
It's still there in some form. They may be
Okay,
blended
yeah,
together. I don't know. I
okay.
don't know how shit
All
works.
right,
But my point
okay.
is that so they lived in this rice house. So my mom walked a mile down this hill to go to school. All right.
Yeah.
So one morning she used to walk my aunt to school. She was 2 years younger,
Okay.
and this is during the Korean War. So there's imagine there's bombs going off. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean, they're witnessing just atrocities like what Ukraine is witnessing.
Right.
Why didn't they cancel school? I have fucking no idea. But and she forgot her book. She told my aunt to stay on the side of the street or whatever. And then she ran up, got her book, came back down, and a military truck had like whizzed around the corner of the street. So my mom witnessed
No.
like my aunt's legs were on one side of the
No, Bobby.
What the fuck? I'm just telling you what's going on.
I know. Go on.
All right. And her upper body was on the other side.
No.
Entrails. I mean, you know what I mean? She was still alive. No, I'm kidding. She was like, help me. No, she was dead, right? But it was so bad because, and then my mom, obviously, at 9 or 10 years old, she's in trauma, right?
Yeah.
So she had to run back up, and there was no ambulance back then, so they took empty rice bags and picked up my aunt and had to bury her, right? And so she witnessed that, right? Never dealt with it.
Yeah.
And then she moves to America, and she meets an alcoholic, rageaholic, like my dad that used to beat the shit out of her, like knock her teeth out and stuff,
No.
right? Yeah.
And did she still have her eye?
My dad gave her surgery, so she has normal eyes now. But that's the one thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He knocked it back in a couple more times, but surgery always helps. Yeah. Yeah. So so you have to imagine, like, she went through that as a child, and then she grew up in that house, right?
Wow.
In a prison, really, right?
Yeah.
And my dad died 2.5 years ago, and this is the freest I've ever seen my mom.
Wow.
She's just
They were still
light.
together.
Oh yeah, she's just light and having fun and going on the internet and watching shows. And like, you know, she's obsessed with BTS, so we send her BTS like pillows and posters, and so she loves it, right? But she's like the lightest person, version of herself that I've ever seen. You know what I mean?
Wow.
But so she, and she doesn't. I'll give you an example. 6 months ago, I was in Arizona. That's where she lives, and we were having coffee, and I look at her, and I just start crying. I go, Mom, I'm so sorry about childhood, and I'm so sorry that
You
Dad beat you.
apologized about your child?
No, her
Oh,
to
her
her that she
childhood.
had to live through this.
Yeah.
And I go, and you know what I mean, all the trauma that you went through, and you know what I mean, and you just had a fucking terrible life, and I'm weeping.
Okay.
My brother's sitting next to me, like looking at me, going, "What the fuck is going on
And
here?"
I know your brother's.
And I go, and I love you so much, and thank you for my life, and this and that. And she looks at me and she goes, "I want to go Buco de Beppo." Like that was her response. I want to go to Buco de Beppo to get spaghetti or whatever. Like it just kind of like
She can't.
she can't
She
even.
blocked it out. Like
she
it's,
can't even.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
How old is she?
She's 80 now, so it's like you know,
Wow.
and I've tried to get her therapy, like because I see a trauma therapist,
Yeah.
and she's old school Korean, so
Yeah.
she just won't do it.
And it's just like robotic. Like that's it.
All she knows is that she feels a little safer, and I'm doing everything I can to make her life, the tail end of her life,
Lush.
as comfortable as possible.
Yeah.
So obviously, I send her money, and whatever she needs, I'm there. You know what I mean? But and don't get me wrong, I miss my dad a lot. I do. I did love him a lot because at the end of the day, he was abused. It's a cyclical thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's like when they say they did the best they can, it is a true thing. You know,
Yeah.
I would have done it way better. I would have done it way differently than him. But there wasn't back in the 50s and 60s the kind of world that we live in when there's, we've had years of research now when it comes to trauma, what it does to your body.
Therapy, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And being open about it, and it's normal.
Yeah, yeah. And all that stuff. You know what I mean? And so, if he had access to that kind of help,
Yeah.
maybe it would have been different, but he just didn't have the access, and he was an alcoholic. You know what I mean? But I remember when I got sober at 17, I just remember distinctly going, I don't want to be like him, so I'm
Yeah.
going to get sober. I mean, that's it. You know what I mean? I just don't want to be like him. There's certain traits that he has that I have, not the negative ones. He has some positive ones.
Yeah.
Like he's a funny guy when wants to be. My mom's hilarious.
Is she?
Oh my God. She just did a Bad Friends, my podcast with Andrew. She did the live and she killed it. She's so funny. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna listen to it.
But I just have a lot of empathy for my mom. And then she had 2 kids, me and my brother. You know my brother Steve, right?
Yeah. I've done his podcast.
You've done his podcast,
Yeah.
yeah. And we're just 2 weird kids that like we used different things to survive. You know what I mean?
Were you close to come together to survive, or were you?
No, he's like my best friend.
Yeah. And when you left though, when you moved out and your mom stayed, did you ever try to get her to move out, or was it like that's your parents?
So the last time he hit me, I was a junior in high school. And he used to like to hit me with golf clubs.
No.
What do you mean?
That's very hard.
Yeah, very hard. And my brother can tell you this. This was the first time he was ever proud of me. My dad picked up a golf club and he hit me with it, right? And at that time now, I was on the wrestling team. It was right before I got sober, but I was still on the wrestling team, and I'm taller than him at that point.
Yeah.
My dad was a small man. And I picked up the golf club and I fucking hit him. I beat the shit out of him. I mean, it was crazy. It was like a lightsaber war, you know? And it got to the point where he was just like hurt. And he looked at me and he just dropped the golf club and just walked to his room. And he never hit anybody else again in the house.
No.
So after that, my dad was never abusive and never he didn't lay a hand on anybody. So when my brother and I moved out of the house, we felt kind of safe because he had changed. But it's in that time period where he kind of went, I just can't get away with this. I'll die. I was going to kill him.
Wow.
I would have killed him.
That is epic.
Yeah. And I'm not a violent guy at all
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form. It's not in me. But I
How
had
did
enough.
you feel after that? Did you feel like I won that? Or like you've got some sort of control?
It's not just that. It was just like, I literally went, number one, I had no future. I had no dreams. I was on survival mode, right?
Yeah.
Constantly. Like when I walk into a room and ask anybody that eats with me, I'm always analyzing where the exits are.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who's in the room, right? How can I escape? You know what I mean?
Damn.
All those things are a part of my, you know what I mean, daily behavioral skills. I don't know if that's the right word, but these are things that I do all the time.
Habits.
Habits. Yeah, behavioral habits, you know. I'm always and back then it was way worse because I wasn't doing any fucking trauma work. So I was like constantly every day on alert.
Damn.
Fight or flight, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The reptilian part of your brain. I was
Yeah.
just living off of that. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And I live like that. And in comedy, it's stand-up comedy. The world is just like growing up.
How so?
It's the same feeling and environment, especially the open mic level, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of backstabbing.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of like ignoring, right?
Yep.
Like them going, not even like I remember as a kid going to open mics and signing in, waiting 8 hours,
Yeah.
and then not even be able to go up,
Yeah.
and like get the fuck out of here or whatever.
Yeah.
There was this guy named Scott Bowman. So you know who Darren Carter is?
Yes. Yes.
You know Darren Carter? The party starter. So Darren Carter in 1995 was a doorman at the La Jolla Comedy Store
Okay. When you started.
when I started. And I remember talking to him, and he was like an elder statesman at the time. He was a guy that I was like, this guy's the greatest
Yeah.
I've ever seen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So Darren goes, hey, there's a coffee shop in Pacific Beach that I play at. I'm trying to get you in the room. So I remember going to the fucking coffee shop with him. And I'm going to tell, because he's still around, this guy. I want to say his name. His name is Scott Bowman from San Diego. And I remember Darren going, hey, this is an open micer. He's really funny. He's got potential. And Scott going, I got to see your act. I go, okay, I can go up now. He goes, no, after the show. So I waited afterwards. I went to the parking lot
After the show.
after the show, and he leaned against his car, and he goes, do it.
Shut the fuck up.
I swear to God. And I remember doing my act in front of him.
No.
Right? He's like, nah.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean? And I just remember going home going, that feeling of like
Yeah.
being rejected.
Yes.
And it was, comedy at that level is constantly like that. Of just being, you're invisible and you just want to be seen. You know what I mean?
And if you have to fight to be seen, you have to like bring out like that anger that came out with your dad. Almost like I
Yeah.
remember
Yeah.
the day that I like stuck up to all these guys who kept cutting in front of me, and I'd be like, I was there first.
yeah.
Like, it was
That
like,
feeling.
That feeling.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, and and it felt comfortable.
Yeah.
In a weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this world I'm gonna have to, you know what I mean? I feel comfortable, but I just know what I have to do, right?
Right.
And it's years of that, right? And it's so in many ways it's like that's. But what I have to admit is, once you get to another level, it just becomes not about that anymore. It becomes now. You know what I mean? I get spots anywhere, time. It was just
Yeah.
great. I'm so blessed because I could go at any A room and they'll go, when do you want to go up? You know what I mean? And it's a really good place to be, but in many ways I miss that. You know what I mean?
Because you're used to that kind of
That world,
environment,
that
in
environment,
that
yeah.
world. There's probably some sort of like sick nostalgia that you have, or the comfort of it.
Yeah.
It's your childhood.
Yeah, I think it changed. I think once I did Jay Leno back then, that was like the thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, here's how I got Jay Leno. I was working the back door of the Comedy Store in Hollywood. You know, you wear the Comedy Store shirt.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there checking IDs to go to the belly. People were going to the belly room. And these two guys walked up to me, and I couldn't believe it. They go, we're Mark and Bob, and they were wearing suits. So I knew that there was something wrong.
Yeah.
And they go, I go, can I see your ID? You want to go to the show? And they go, no, we just want to talk to you. And I thought like they were FBI or something. Like I thought, you know what I mean? Like there was
You're
something
like,
wrong. Like, what did I do? I didn't do
what
it.
did my dad do?
Yeah. Or something happened,
Yeah.
right? I go, are you guys a part of the government? And they go, no, we work for the Tonight Show. Okay, you don't have to pay to get, like I was just being so defensive.
Yeah.
And they go, no, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? They go, we've been watching you at open mics. And I go, oh.
Open mics?
Yeah, they were like going around, like, not open mics. There was just be a show called Dublin's.
Okay.
Right? So it was like half younger comics, half established.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I would get in front of, before like Dan Cook or whatever.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like I was in that
Okay.
middle cusp of like, I could kill it for 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they go, no, we're watching you around town, and we think you can do the Tonight Show. I go, what? And they go, yeah, but we really have to see you and give you notes. So I remember them coming out a lot. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they never gave me a date. They just kind of went, when there's an emergency. And I remember one day they go, tomorrow.
No.
You got to be here. You're doing it. And I didn't have a car, and I was living with 11 people in a one-bedroom apartment in Silver Lake.
What?
Yeah, I took a bus there.
Were they comics?
No, they were all skaters.
Hot.
They were all skaters, you know. And took a bus there,
Whoa.
and I remember like getting in there, had my name on a star, whatever. And I walked in this dressing room, and my brother's there, my little brother's there, and my brother's like, "What the fuck is going on, man? This is crazy." And I remember Jay Leno knocking on my door. He walks in and goes, "Hey, welcome."
No.
And I go, "Hi." And he sits down, "You're from the Comedy Store." And we talk for like 30 minutes. But you know, when you're in that situation, you're not really
Yeah.
listening.
Yes,
You're
yes,
just
yes,
smiling
yes,
and going
yes.
like, I don't want to say the wrong thing. And I remember doing it and then him calling me over the couch. And at that moment, I went, that desperate open micer, trying to get spots and all that stuff, it sort of changed with me. You know what I mean? I went, okay, this is all that shit I went through,
Yeah.
right? This is a positive sign,
Yeah.
right? And I remember just doing well. And I remember kind of it changing after that a little bit for me, you know?
Were you still doing? Oh yeah, because you were a door guy still, so you were still doing open mics. Then after that, you're like, oh, I'm not. You felt.
No, at that once I got the show that they said I was going to get the Tonight Show. Right after that is when, because I had Abby, my manager, so she used that he's gonna do the Tonight Show. They don't know when, right? And got me because I couldn't get an agent, but got me an audition for Matt TV.
Oh. Okay.
So she used that, and I got in the door, and I booked the show. And then the thing opened up, and you know what I mean? But I still had no money.
Yeah.
You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, it all happened like really fast.
Yeah.
And then at that time, I just never really worked the door after that.
Crazy.
Like I immediately was like, oh, I can like get a nice apartment and buy
Yeah.
a car.
Yeah.
And all that shit came in that couple of years where it was just like, it completely changed. It was so good.
Wow. Overnight, pretty much.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And were your parents? Do they watch you? Like.
So they said, "Don't ever call us again," because my dad, you know, because they didn't know what it was. They didn't go, "Comedy? What did that?" You know, and I go, "Well, you know, you just go up in front of an audience and they, you're not funny.
No.
You never walk.
Your dad.
Go to college. Yeah, all that stuff,
Oh
right?"
my god.
And I'm like, "Yeah, but this is
That's
my
what I wanted-
dream."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I remember, I'm not gonna cry, but I remember the next day after the Tonight Show, my parents calling
And you hadn't talked to them?
in a while, and they
Wow.
go, they were crying,
Really?
yeah, and they go, "We're so sorry, we didn't support you," and I'm like, I'm not gonna go in your face, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You grab another
You
golf
gook
club
or whatever. You know, get racial, but like I went, it's all right, you know. But you know, it's like, and then every Saturday they would watch me on Mad,
Oh my god.
and they would just like stay up, and like, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and DVR. I think I don't know, did they DVR or record tape it or whatever? And they would watch it over and over again, and they would laugh, and it was like really cool.
Wow.
yeah.
Did you feel more validated with that or with getting the Tonight or doing well in the Tonight Show?
I still don't feel validated.
I mean, listen.
Yeah.
You gotta really fucking
I still don't feel validated.
work on that. That's
So I'm single now, and I'm 50.
You're 50.
Yeah.
You don't look 50.
And I am.
Oh,
I'm 50 years old.
okay.
And I feel like this next phase in my life is a new adventure. And I don't know what it's going to bring me, but I'm very excited about it.
You are excited.
Yeah.
So you're okay. I can't tell if you're okay or not okay.
What do you mean?
You go back and forth within this hour. Sometimes you're validated, sometimes you're not. Sometimes
It's
you're
not that I'm
excited,
okay. I feel optimistic. I don't feel
That's
dread.
good. That's good.
I don't feel dread.
Do you feel like a new like it's a beautiful morning and you walk out of
Never.
the shower?
That's never happened.
You know
that's
what?
never
maybe it will.
No, that'll never happen.
No, Bobby. Maybe it
No.
will.
First of all, I don't take showers in the morning.
Okay.
That would never happen. But
It's
also,
a beautiful evening.
this is what I do when I wake up.
Okay.
And this is the sound I make. You know what I mean? Like I'll wake up and go alive.
Oh.
You know what I mean? And I'll sit on the side
was
of the
like,
bed
or are you
and,
getting
and I'll lean
jerked
over
off?
like this. You mean like a defeated boxer?
Oh.
I mean,
Okay.
in between rounds, and just go, and just like you know how you're like kind of groggy.
Yeah.
You're going, what the fuck do I got to do today? What's today about?
Yeah,
Like this
yeah.
morning I was like, oh, Nikki Bond. Who's Nikki Bond? Nikki Bond. Because I looked at my schedule and I. Oh yeah, you know what I mean, that type of thing.
And then you got in the shower and went, "It's a
Beautiful morning. No. And I remember I got coffee and I came.